not me.
I have a spare bedroom.
Yeah, I'll think about it.
Y'all did have some wild weather up in Tulsa this week. Did you have to take any cover?
They had to. No, not us, but they had to. At the Arkansas, there's a dam over east of us, and a bunch of
Weber
barges
Falls.
crashed
Yeah,
into it. Did you see that?
Yeah.
The barge?
They had to evacuate that whole
I saw
2
that.
barges.
Did you see the evacuation notice? It was like, if you're not going to evacuate, write your name, personal information on your arm, and permanent marker, because you're going to die.
You're going to die. These barges are going to kill you.
They're going to come into your house and stab you in front of your family.
And
These barges are full of pirates, and when they crash and explode, these pirates are going to kill you. That was kind of terrifying, though.
well, and what's funny is they knew the barges were going to crash into it,
Yeah,
and no one could do anything
You
about
can't-
it.
I don't know what do you do?
So just somebody goes out and
Nothing.
swims in front of it. Stop!
No,
Puts their legs on it.
Barges, please,
We need-
please, your
barges.
heart.
we need 300 volunteers to swim against the barges.
Everybody get your floaties.
So they just had news coverage, like videotaping the barges going towards the dam the whole time.
Yeah.
And then they crashed, and they looked like they were going slow, but they
Mhm.
really had like.
Did you see when they
There was
went?
a lot
They
of
went
force
underneath
behind
the
it.
water and stuff. It was
Yeah.
intense.
I know they're trying to swim under. They really wanted to get through there.
Come on, let me get to the other side. I'm a barge.
Like, we gotta kill these people. No.
We are live on YouTube.
Weber Falls.
What's up, you two? It's me, the Dale Man.
It has evolved.
It's Luke the Dale Man.
Hey, Tayshawn, are you going to be here for the NBA draft party?
Durs, bro. My birthday's the day before.
Yeah, I was about to say,
I know
your
you guys
birthday's-
already knew that, though.
Yeah, we're gonna throw a party for you, but it's gonna be on June 20th at Banquet Cinema Pub. We're gonna talk about the draft.
Wait a sec.
We're
This whole thing is actually a surprise birthday party.
It
for
is.
me.
Surprise!
Oh my
26,
God.
27, 26.
28.
Jeez, Louise, you're getting old, man.
You're 21.
I know.
You're 22.
About to be 21.
Jeez, Lubies.
All right.
Hey, did I tell you guys about my roommate whose name was Deshaun? I think I did. And he worked at Luby's. He had a list. And he said, "Hey, what's up, man? My name's Deshaun. I work at Luby's."
No,
No.
you have never told us that.
That's how he introduces himself.
Dude,
Yeah, basically.
Dude, Luby's shut down.
I know.
Forget about it.
There are no cafeterias in Oklahoma City.
That's
And
sad.
You have to go to more. Although they're building,
That's where the old
somebody's building one where the old Boulevard Cafe is
Hometown buffet.
downtown. Doesn't exist anymore. On cue.
I know.
I'm trying to eat well, and you know where I go to most lunches and dinners on Saturdays and Sundays?
Where, Luke?
Up
Town.
town grocery.
Grocery.
It's great.
Their sushi is so good.
It
It is good.
rocks.
It does rock.
And you can get exactly what you're feeling that evening.
We were so excited about that coming to Village, and then we moved to Edmond.
Right.
Dang it.
It's
They
awesome.
have one in Edmond.
Hey, let's start this.
It's not as good.
Let's start the day.
It's also here's
And
what's
it's
great.
far away.
We can get to the one in the Village quicker than we can the one in Edmond.
It is way up there.
Yeah, it is.
And getting from here, so we live in Southeast Edmond, and it's in Northwest Edmond.
There's no good way to get there.
15, 20 minutes of stoplights.
Yeah.
So I'm like, nope, I'll just jump on the turnpike and get to the one.
There's no good way to get there.
All right, let's do this.
Let's do it. You've been to the YMCA up there?
Yeah, it's amazing.
Dude, it's freaking awesome.
It's amazing. It makes me want to just get a Y membership.
We have one and we went up there.
You just throw Andrew in the pool and just
that
leave.
pool is awesome.
It's like a
That,
yeah, it's
that water
incredible.
slide is unbelievable.
Yep. It's amazing.
It's actually kind of scary. All
It's big.
I'm Stephen Adams. This is Down to Doug. I'm miffed and peeved. That's not the words. What do I say?
Hello, I'm Alex Sabrinas. I'm not miffed and piffed. I'm about to dunk. I'm not miffed and piffed. Hello, I'm Alex Sabrinas. I'm not miffed and piffed. I'm down to dunk.
I'm Stephen Adams. I'm not miffed and peeved. I am down to dunk.
Yo, this PG and I'm down to dunk.
Good morning and welcome to the 6, 8, 6 down to dunk. You can find us on CLNS Media Daily, Thunder.com-radio, 5 p.m. Central Standard Time, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, or of course, anywhere you subscribe to your podcasts. Or watch us streaming the podcast live on YouTube on our FriPod tripod. I am Luke. Joined this morning by Andrew.
Slam through.
Taylor.
And I'm looking for the sky to save me. Looking for a sign of life. Looking for something to help me burn out bright. Dun, dun, dun. Looking for a complication. Looking cause I'm tired of lying. Make my slam through.
Hello.
Hello.
And Jay.
It's Jay. Dude, so we play that with this little cover band that I play with. It's such a fun song to play.
I played it with a cover band my freshman year. We were called
Wait.
We were called Frail.
Oh.
We were called.
We were playing for an audience.
Ours is technically a country music cover band, but we play like a collection of 90s songs, and that's one of them. Well, I'm not sure. I think that's actually
one time we played that at a Johnny's charcoal broiler.
Johnny's charcoal broiler.
It's true.
Wait, where would you set up in a Johnny's?
Dude, the one on
Wherever you want
Espresso
to.
is huge.
It really is so much bigger
Freshman year in high school?
than you think it is.
Holy crap.
Yeah, man.
That song is old. Make my way.
We rocked. Okay, so the All NBA teams came out,
Yay.
which is kind of a big deal for a few select people. 2 Thunder players made it.
Hooray.
2 Thundermen.
It's kind of amazing that they actually let them be on the teams after they lose in the first round.
After they're so terrible, apparently.
But Paul George is first team All NBA and first team All Defense,
Yay.
which is amazing. And he made you forget that he was that good in the playoffs because of his hurt shoulders. But he really was that good. And you like wonder, and I think that there's just going to be a lot of things rewritten about this Thunder season. And one of them is like, you just have to remember that Paul George was that good. And that's what made that team as good as they were in January and February. And him being hurt changed everything.
He was legitimately, like, not in the conversation. Like, he's one of the 3 finalists for the MVP.
Right. He's one of the 3. Yeah.
But he was legitimately in the conversation to actually win it.
There were
during that
people
stretch.
saying, I'm voting for Paul George if he continues to play like this.
And he just,
And then he
freaking
just-
Denver game after the All-Star break where he
Dude.
smashed his shoulder.
Dude,
So bad.
it sucks.
Yeah, so that's a big deal. I'm assuming he's
It's a big
made an
deal.
all-defensive team
Yeah,
before.
he's actually the guy that's on the first team that's made it the most. I think he's
Okay.
made it 5 times.
But he hasn't. Has he made the? Okay, so he's been on the first, or is this his first? The way it has this written, it says one first time. He's on the All NBA first team
Yeah.
for the first time, or is that the?
I believe this is
Second
his
time.
first time
Yeah.
to be on the All NBA first team.
That's got to feel some sort of like vindicating.
Yeah.
For as much hell as people have been giving him and the Thunder, like, dude, they had 2 players still on the. I don't know. I don't know. I think it's a big deal. I think it means a lot for the Thunder. It means a lot, obviously, for Paul George.
This is what they need to do when they open up training camp. They're like, okay, everybody, Paul George, All NBA first team, the number 1, the best guy on our team, made the first team. And then we had Russell Westbrook. He made the 3rd team. That is the 3rd. There are 2 numbers before 3. He's on the 3rd team. Russell, great job.
Being on the 3rd team.
Good job being
not
on the 3rd
first.
team and not the first like Paul, but you're on the
Does
3rd.
everyone understand?
Can I address that one more time?
Is
No,
is there anybody on these 2? Like, you look at the defensive teams. Anybody that got snubbed? Any good snubs?
Schnubs.
any big
Schnubs.
schnubbing?
I got schnibbed.
I don't know that there's anything that's egregious.
Well, I think some people thought Bradley Beal might make 3rd team or something.
No.
But-
That's all NBA, right?
on all defense,
Not all defense, is it?
like Miles Turner.
Oh, you're talking all defense?
Yeah, sorry.
Miles Turner probably deserves to. He was one of the best, probably like 5 or 6 defensive players this season.
But if it's position,
But it's tough because it's by position. So he probably wasn't better than those 2. But you just kind of feel bad that he didn't make it. A Pacer should have made it. Like put Thad
A
Young on
really
the
good
team.
defense. Yeah.
I think only 2 people voted for Thad Young. One of them was Fred Katz.
Was Freddie?
Somebody on the Pacers team should have made it with as good as they were all season on the defensive end.
Yeah. Why can't let's go get Thad Young?
Why did people vote for Russell Westbrook for all NBA or all defense? You know why?
Appearance.
Stat lookers.
He steals the
Stat
ball a
lookers.
lot.
We got some real stat lookers
Real
out
stat lookers.
Because if you watch him on a day-to-day basis, you're just like, yeah, he's
He's a
hurting-
problem on defense.
He's hurting the team on a regular basis.
Thad
more than
Young
he's
is an
helping.
unrestricted free agent this summer.
What does he make? What does he get?
His last contract finished at 13, almost 14 million. You won't make that. 8, 10. Depends on what he wants, right?
3 for 34.
Sure. And it depends if he wants to go play for somebody, because he could probably go to the Hornets. They don't have money, but he could go somewhere and make more money.
Yeah.
Or he can go somewhere if he wants to win and take a little less, like the Thunder for the mid-level exception.
If you want, what taxpayer mid-level for you, Thad? We'll have that, and you can come off the bench.
Yep.
It'll be amazing.
Yeah, you'll be great.
Hey, you know where everyone needs to get up off the bench and go to? Our draft party. Guys, it's Thursday. Thursday, June 20th at Banquet Cinema Pub. This event is all ages. No ageism discrimination at our draft party this year. It starts
What
at
is happening?
It starts at
talking
6
about the
on
draft party, man.
June 20th.
Got a lot of alien ant farm going on here.
A lot of it. Yeah,
Oh.
Taylor, that's why there's big
Big
breaks
positives.
in positive what
All
I'm
I heard
talking
was
about.
this draft is all ages.
It's all
seconds.
ages. Yep. And we're also going to have, again, our mocked draft competition. That is where you, our listeners, put together who you believe every team is going to draft, and the person that gets closest to being correct wins.
The shirt off of Luke's back. That
The
night.
shirt off of my back and more.
We got a prize package.
Prize
We're putting
package.
together.
It's gonna be great. You have to be present to win.
You have to be present to win.
Yep.
And it's going to be great. They
Hey, I know there's a lot of people from Tulsa that listen to this podcast.
Definitely one.
Yeah.
His name is Taylor.
Taylor's going to rent a 15-passenger van,
Yep.
You really should.
bring you all down.
You really should.
you really should.
That would be so fun.
He could actually fit maybe 2 or 3 people in his Kia,
Yeah.
but you have to know him.
Well, and if you're small, we did say all ages. So like, if
You'll
you
just
have
take
three-
if you need to
three little kids,
if
they
you
could
need to
fit in
send
the
your
back.
kids to Tulsa.
You could take either 2 full-grown adults or about 6 kids. if
This
they're
is
small kids.
and this is not hyperbole. This is probably the best event we do. It's a blast.
It's the best.
It
one,
is
yeah.
fun. It's a ton of fun.
And to do it at this new venue, we're all
Yeah.
big screen. It's going to be a
gonna
blast.
It's
gonna be
really
great.
going to be amazing. So if you've been in the
wait.
past, this one will be even better.
And we actually have a draft pick,
And we have a draft pick, which is helpful
and we don't have to leave
to
it now.
everything. Right.
It'll be great.
We're sitting in an actual movie theater watching the draft live.
Yeah, pretty much.
I don't know
It's-
how those
well,
theaters work.
There's a lot of there's a places to stand. There's tables. You can move in and out, so it's not like you have to sit in a seat the whole time. But there's a lot of places to stand and hang
Yeah,
around, and
I like
there's a
it.
bar in there.
Come on.
It's gonna be great.
Yes,
and,
it is.
Come hungry because I got some food there.
They make these giant hand toss
Yep,
pizzas.
I want it right now.
They're New York style.
Yep.
They're amazing.
Yeah, I'm in.
So
It's
join
gonna be-
us. Bring your friends.
It is going to be fun.
Bring a whole group of people.
Bring your family.
Bring a baby.
Bring your You can bring your baby. I actually might bring my baby.
Bring a baby.
So I will have the mock draft stuff ready next week. My guy Mike Alcorn and I have been
So awesome.
I've been touching base with him. He's helping out again, which is great. And we're going to collaborate next week and get that thing out to you. So it's not like you guys really know on May 24th who you think is going to be drafted, but
I know the first 3.
I think the first 3.
I got it.
Watch out. Jay's trying to win that prize pack.
Zion.
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 Name the 5 greatest rappers of all time, Taylor. Zion.
Dylon.
Because I spit hot fire. Okay, so hey, listen, there's a lot of other things going on in the NBA too, but here's what we need you to do: is we need you to put this morning, this afternoon, this evening, whenever you listen to your podcast, get in your phone, set a calendar reminder, and say June 20th draft party. Tell your wife, tell your husband, tell your friends and neighbors, get your ass to our party.
Whoa.
That's how intense this is.
Should do gosh. It's going to be great.
Wow.
So Klay Thompson's not very happy.
No. So if you look at the all NBA teams, there's one relatively, what's hard, you can't say it's a snub for Klay Thompson.
It's a little bit of a schnub.
He's going to say it's a schnub.
A little
so
bit.
he would make, who are you going to throw out?
He
So,
made the all defensive team.
so you're going to throw out, because it's guard, right? Is he guard position?
He's a guard.
So he would probably either make it over Russell or Kemba.
I get Kemba out of there.
Why is Kemba in there, man?
I don't know. I don't know if it's like people. I don't know. He was really good at the beginning of the season, and then they didn't make the playoffs in the East. Like none of those guys. Like everybody's like, well,
The Magic made the
Bradley
playoffs.
Beal. Like, come on. Like none of the. If you cannot win enough games in the Eastern Conference, you should not be considered to be one of the best 15 players in the league that season.
I agree.
Yeah, and I was texting Andrew last night, or all of you guys, but Andrew's the only one talking to me. But Kemba Walker is eligible to make more money than Damian Lillard because he made this third team.
Dame made the second team.
Dame made second team, I know, but like, why is Kemba eligible for more than Dame?
He shouldn't be. They both are eligible for the
Supermax.
I know, but their supermaxes are different. I saw.
Did you hear?
It's weird. I don't know what the
Is
deal
it because Kemba's been in the league longer?
Maybe that's true. Maybe does Kemba have that 10-year thing?
Yeah, I think so. I think
Mhm.
that's what it is. That would make sense. I'll say this. Number one is if you're Charlotte, even though you don't really want to, like, you just have to offer it. This team has nothing without him. They don't have much with him.
Dude, they didn't make the playoffs with him. I don't know, man.
The more and more, here's what's crazy. The worst, looking back, the importance of general managers. And I know everybody thought Michael Kidd-Gilchrist would be decent.
And not this.
But trading the 2 pick for James Harden would have been franchise changing for them.
League shifting.
Because the Thunder have Brad Bill. Oh, I'm going to throw my computer on the ground.
Yeah, you should.
Yeah. So here's the thing about Klay this year is the issue is being the 4th cog on a wheel.
Right. When you they all made a sacrifice.
And Klay's is apparently $30 million.
And they're all like, at this point, I think that they're all just ready to be done making the sacrifice.
Yeah, especially since they obviously realize they don't need it.
And they just swept the Blazers.
It's so,
which is, I think, probably bloated a little bit, right? Because
is it though?
I do think it is a little bit bloated. Because Portland was just not the same, man. Like they were progressively less and less of the same.
Yeah, I understand.
From the Thunder series,
but
you're right. Like it's still impressive.
In Game 4, in the Game 4, they're missing Kevin Durant, Andre Iguodala, DeMarcus Cousins.
Yeah, and McKelly said this multiple times, and it's so true when you watch them play. It's like it's the most beautiful brand of basketball that maybe has ever been played.
Yeah,
like the only other ones I remember watching and just being struck by were some of those Spurs teams. They were really just beautiful the way they moved the ball.
Yeah.
And then those Suns teams that D'Antoni was the coach of. But it's so good for the league for them to be this and for Kevin Durant to go somewhere else.
Oh, my goodness.
And it's so good, apparently, for the Warriors. I think they would be better with Kevin Durant. I think that's...
I mean, there's no question.
There's no question about that. I'm not saying that, but I
they're
think
more
it's
dangerous with Kevin.
They're just... Sure. I don't know. It just feels like they're who they are when they don't have him.
Yeah.
We say that he misses out on $30 million and kind of just pass over like that. It is an incomprehensible amount of money.
It really is. That's why he's so pissed.
To think about it, like, because he is a millionaire and he knows what it's like to have multiple $1 million. And so missing out on $30
million would change so many families, generations,
almost everybody.
Yeah.
But here's the crazy thing.
I'd take it.
I would take it if offered.
Yeah, I would not turn it down. So here's the other thing is that keeps the Warriors from having 2 Supermax teams.
Yep.
And you can only have 2 for a team. And so it does actually set them up to where if they wanted to, I'm assuming they could they throw a Supermax at Kevin Durant, or because he came from another team, they couldn't? I don't know the details.
I don't think you can. I think,
and they're not going to Supermax Draymond.
If next year Draymond makes, or if he's the defensive player of the year, or if he makes the All NBA team, he'll be eligible for the Supermax.
Dude, he is going to play his mind out next year.
He's going to be in shape the whole season.
I will say this.
If he plays like this,
unbelievable.
He'll make it.
Game 3, the only reason the Warriors won the game is because of Draymond Green.
I mean, let's say
it was the reminder, because he has been not very good most of the season. Like, he was kind of off and on.
Right.
And he got better, obviously, in the playoffs, because that's all he needs to play. Dude, he was so game altering.
Dude, he's so good.
This series. Outstanding. He's incredible. So brilliant on the basketball court.
If they win 60 games next year and they're the number 1 team in the Western Conference, they're like a top 3 defensive team in the league. You probably vote him defensive player of the year, right?
Yep. And he gets a Supermax.
And he's eligible for it. And
he'll take it without question.
He's going to demand it.
And that's 5 years. It's the Russ deal.
It's a terrifying deal for him.
Yeah. I mean, Draymond's already
38. I don't know.
And his skill set.
Is he 30, 31 probably? If he's even 30. Is he 30 yet?
29. He's only 29.
Yeah.
He'll be 30 when he's eligible for them.
Yeah.
Supermax. So that puts him at 35. That's not as terrifying as I thought initially.
Yeah.
37, 36. Like, and there's some things that Supermax just puts people, like, it's going to put teams in a place where it's really beneficial in hindsight for a Kevin Durant. Not that he would have taken it, but it's like, you could have thrown any amount of money really that you couldn't get anywhere else, could have thrown it at Kevin Durant. But at the same time, it's also hamstringing teams to where it's like, if you want.
Here's where it's beneficial, is if you're a top 3 player that projects to be in the top 3 still during the years of your Supermax.
Yep. It's beneficial for both team and player.
Everybody else.
Because
if you're in like the back half of the top 10 or top 15 players, like, that's awesome. Great. You're eligible, but man, it's going to hurt at the end.
Yes.
And most of those guys aren't eligible for it until they're 29, 30 years old.
Yeah. Because
Like,
you have to have 10 years of a level of success.
And those are typically the guys that make the All-NBA team anyways, are guys that are well into their career.
Yep.
So, I mean, it's not working. It's clearly not working because it's scaring teams more than anything.
Yeah, and it's good. So talk about the Hornets. Like, the Hornets are potentially going to lock themselves in,
and they're going to have to seriously consider letting him go because of it.
They need to do a fire sell,
dude. And what are you going to sell? What?
I don't know. They don't have,
like, name one guy outside of Kemba Walker that has trade value.
I mean, Jeremy Lamb, or is he unrestricted?
He's an unrestricted free agent.
Tony Parker,
dude. Like, for real. Like, who? Like, if you're the Thunder. Who are you trading your first round pick and salary cap filler for on that team?
Maybe Marvin Williams?
No.
Maybe.
No.
Nobody else. Miles Bridges?
Yeah, but you don't.
They're not. That's one of their only pieces they want.
Yeah, that's the only piece. That's one piece that they want. I mean, seriously, there's nobody else on that roster. They've built this roster that's incredibly expensive and filled with players that nobody wants. I mean, it's unbelievable.
Dude, the Nick Batum one is the most terrifying.
It's so bad.
He makes 25.5 next year, and then 27 on a player option in 2020.
You think he's picking that up?
And nobody's trading for him.
No,
nobody. He's the exact guy you want for like $11 million.
He's like Evan Turner.
Yeah. There are moments in that series where I was like, Evan Turner doesn't know how to play basketball.
Yeah.
Anymore. So bad. Bismack's under contract for one more year at $17 million. Oh my God. So you wonder if they can get somebody that needs expiring, but that's enormous.
That's a lot. It's crazy. Okay, we can stop talking about the
Hornets
now.
Hey, I do want to talk a little bit. Tayshaun is not there. He's muting. I don't know what he's doing. So
I don't either. He's moving around a lot. What are you doing, dude?
He's repositioning. Nope, there he is.
No, he's back in the exact
My dogs are killing me.
Okay. They're murdering
Hey,
you?
I wanted to talk. I think we would it'd be in our interest to talk about the Eastern Conference Finals.
Dude,
It was a great game.
it's a great game.
The Raptors ended up winning 105-99 or something like that.
Yeah. Kawhi is on another level right now.
Yeah. And after apparently like stumbling physically, he looked out of his mind. He was hitting threes last night that were just so nonchalant.
He'd get switched. They get Brook Lopez switched onto him.
2-3 dribble, step back, three.
And he would just demolish him. It was unbelievable. I mean, if you're the Bucks, you've got to go super. You just put Giannis at center, right?
Surely.
Yes.
The hard part, and I know Zach Lowe and them talked about this quite a bit on the last Low Post, but the Bucks have just, what they've done all season is we will do what we do. But things have changed. Malcolm Brogdon, I think if he didn't start, I didn't catch the very beginning, but
he did start.
Yeah, so he started. Eric Bledsoe's been very I love Malcolm Brogdon.
He's very good.
But we kind of almost pulled a Paul Pierce after the Bucks just stomped the life out of the Raptors in game 2.
Everybody thought it was over.
And everybody's like, I think the Bucks can beat the Warriors.
I know.
And then all of a sudden we're like, the Bucks are not going to make it out of the Eastern Conference Finals. Although I still think the Bucks could win game 6.
They could.
They totally can. They probably should. So last night, Fred VanVleet had 21 points and was a plus 28.
Yeah.
He's been averaging, I think I saw he's been averaging somewhere between 4 and 6 points in the playoffs so far.
Yeah.
So like that came out of nowhere, and that's really what did it. He was 7 of 9 from 3 for the Raptors, and they barely won that game. I mean, it was a close game the whole time. That's what happened.
Yeah.
Was VanVleet.
I mean, that's how the playoffs work, though. Like the Bucks won that game when Brook Lopez went off.
Yep.
And scored whatever he did. I mean, you look back, and this series reminds you a lot of that 2012 series against the Spurs, where the Spurs just killed the Thunder in the first 2 games. And you just felt like, yeah, this team is just better. They're just better than the Thunder. And this isn't the Thunder's time, and whatever else we say to make ourselves feel better. And then the Thunder figure something out.
Yeah. The half court off defense for the Raptors has stifled.
Dude, they cannot
Bucks
score in the half court at all. It's been unbelievable what the Raptors have been able to do.
Yeah, Fred VanVleet was a plus 28 last night, 7 of 9 from the 3-point line. On Reddit, I can't even say his name, but Akazanthiosita. Okay, that's fine. He said he posted this on NBA Reddit. He said Fred VanVleet has shot 10 of 12, 83% from downtown in the last 2 playoff games. In his previous 14 playoff games, he'd shot a combined 5 of 35 for 14%.
That's so crazy.
So what you're hoping is there's some sort of trend, right? Although 10 of 12 and he shot 7.
The thing is, he's a good player.
Norman Powell, dude, this team has depth.
Yeah.
And they also have the superstar, although Giannis as well. I mean, obviously, but Giannis is obviously the MVP of the league, so I'm not downplaying him. But you have Kawhi. This team is well put together, and they're a good team, and they have a great home court. I love Toronto, except for Drake, but I love the energy, the play with. I want
them to win.
I want them to win.
Yeah, I do too.
What do you think, Taylor?
Wait a second. I thought we wanted the Bucks to win.
I've always wanted the Raptors to win. I was with everybody else that I thought the Bucks were just gonna roll.
I mean, it looked like they were just gonna destroy them. And what's weird about the Bucks is when they're playing well, you think, oh wow, that's a really deep team. They have Mirotic and George Hill and Ilyasova off the bench. And then when they're playing bad, you're like, man, they really don't have any depth. George Hill's off the bench for them.
Right.
Jeez.
Right.
Pat Connaughton. Oh man, what the hell? Sterling Brown. Yeah. I mean, if that's where I don't really understand. Like, what are you doing playing Sterling Brown 4 minutes?
Yeah.
Like, why are you playing your son Ilyasova 11 minutes in that game? Like, what are you doing?
Mirotic played 9 minutes.
He hasn't been great.
I don't know why are you playing 10 guys in this series?
That's the thing, is like just pick 3 of them and give them a good amount of minutes. Mirotic has shown to be such a rhythm guy That's not a person you throw out in like spot minutes at
Yeah.
all.
Yeah.
He's never worked out that way.
Game 6, Giannis needs to play 45 minutes.
He better.
Oh yeah.
This could end your season.
And
you're not guaranteed anything moving forward.
No, because your contracts are all over the place.
And also, like,
have you guys seen?
If Kawhi stays, if the Sixers are going to get better,
if the Celtics somehow pull off getting Kyrie and Anthony Davis,
I mean, you cannot,
or Kevin Durant to the Knicks,
you cannot just say like, oh, we'll be back here.
You take the shot when you want it.
You may not be back here, and
this is coming from a very wounded place as a Thunder.
Well,
fan.
yeah, but also like Giannis will be eligible to leave.
True.
And so like you can't just be like, yeah, this is good effort, everybody.
No, I don't think they're going to do that. I think they're going to probably the hard part is they're going to get themselves in a place where they're going to overpay, like for a Brook Lopez.
Well, Brogdon is a restricted free agent,
and somebody you want to talk about a team that needs a point guard. I mean, the Suns.
I would throw a lot of money at him.
Yeah.
Listen, what if Brogdon was our 2?
Be unbelievable.
Somebody said take him to the trade machine. I was like, dude,
first of all, he's a free agent, so you can't trade for him
unless it was a sign and trade, which the Bucks would have.
He's
to
a restricted
do that,
free agent.
Oh yeah. So you just have to match him or pay him whatever, but you don't. The Thunder can't do that.
It's impossible.
Literally impossible.
Yeah. So I mean,
he would be a perfect because he's technically a point guard, right?
Yeah, he can play both positions.
How great would he be?
He shot 50, 40, 90 this season.
Yeah. He would be.
He's big, and he's a good rebounder too.
With Monty Williams, I feel like that would be Monty's point guard kind of guy. Did you listen to Woj Pod with
I haven't
Monty?
yet.
It's good, man. He's such a great dude.
Dude, he's awesome.
So,
would you max him out if you're the Suns?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I would.
Absolutely.
Max out Brogdon?
Yeah.
I think I would.
Oh.
No, it's not. That's not a super max. That's like a 20 million.
It's his second contract.
Yeah.
I would. If I'm the Suns, I would.
You have to. The Suns.
You put him
they're
next
not
to
going to
Devin.
get Ja. They're not going to get Ja Morant.
Yeah.
If they get a draft, if they draft a point guard, that's fine, and he can just play on a rookie deal behind Malcolm Brogdon or with Malcolm Brogdon, like whatever.
Well, you know what?
Your team changes dramatically with him as your point guard.
Yeah.
You have a point. You're in the same age range. Like you are just moving in a direction that makes sense.
And it kills the Bucks either way, whether they have to match or if they have to let him go.
Yep, absolutely. I offer him the max.
If you're the Suns, what else are you doing?
Nothing.
I mean, you paid Tyson Chandler and Trevor Ariza a ton of money. Like, stop that.
Jared Dudley.
Pay a good player. Like, I know a max. He's not worth a max, probably, but he's not going to hurt you like those other guys did.
And you wouldn't feel like there's a ton of potential for Malcolm Brogdon to play into his salary.
Yeah, I mean he's an older guy,
especially as the dominant,
but like
as your primary point guard, because Eric Bledsoe stuff kind of changed, which is crazy looking back at those draft classes like Alex and I did. It's Malcolm Brogdon was the rookie of the year that year.
I know,
it was a great year. So I don't know. They do have some question marks. You're right. You got to go all in, and Giannis needs to play until they have to drag him off the court.
They should play 7 or 8 guys. And they should play the starters should play 40 plus minutes, everybody.
Yep.
Have you guys seen the stats like where Kawhi, the possessions of Giannis when Kawhi is guarding him, how terribly he's shooting?
Mm-mm.
Basically, he's scoring at will against anyone else on the Raptors, but the couple times per game that Kawhi's on him, I think he's shooting like somewhere between 15 and 20%.
Wow.
Yeah, Kawhi is fantastic. So good.
It's just amazing to think of like he's that good that he can stop someone like Giannis.
Did you see his post-game interview? So he's just like, somebody asked him about the feel out there. He's like, I'm just playing the game, and you guys want to make fun, and you want to make fun, and then he just gets up and walk away.
He's such a weirdo, dude. He's so weird.
I was like, okay, man. Everybody wants
to me that he's good at basketball.
The thing to me is like, dude, Kawhi, everybody wants you to be good.
Everybody loves
Nobody's
you.
Against you. Like, you're a big weirdo, and you've made this entire narrative around you. Like, it's okay, dude. You don't have to be, CJ McCollum in the press world, man. You don't have to be, but dude, just try to be normal.
He's just afraid he's gonna laugh again.
And
if
the
he's-
whole
if
the
he's
whole
made
thing
fun
with the
of.
Spurs, and I still think in hindsight, looking at the Spurs thing, I think 3/4 of it is Kawhi's crew wanted Kawhi to be the guy somewhere.
Yeah.
It has nothing to do. I don't think it has to do with LA. I think it was the fact that he felt like Pop got all of the credit for who the Spurs were, and Kawhi was sitting in the back just working. And maybe he was upset with the way they handled his injury and all the
the
different
injury
things.
stuff. Yeah.
But I think a lot of it was this. Kawhi has to take this level of this jump to a level where he is in amongst the conversation of the most elite players in the NBA, and he's there. And it could work out that way
If
for
they make the
him in Toronto.
finals,
That's huge. And I think I don't think they could beat the Warriors, especially the Warriors at full strength. But they're not going to be at full strength for a while. And so if they can go
I
and
don't
get
know,
one of
man.
these first games, well, actually the Raptors have home court advantage.
I think that's right.
Yeah, it's the Bucks and the Raptors are the two best in the league, I think,
Mhm.
record wise.
Well, remember when Kawhi was on the Spurs before Zaza hurt him and he was out for the series? They were like destroying Golden State, and that Spurs team was not as good as this Raptors team.
No. They both
Kawhi
did have Danny
changes-
Green, though.
They both did have Danny Green.
Danny Green
That's a
has
good
been
sign.
very bad in this series, but
Yeah, they have home court by one game.
one game. That's crazy.
You guys know on 2K how sometimes there are two players that when they're on the court together, their powers increase.
Mm-mm.
Well, I think that's Danny Green and Kawhi. I
Mm.
think the Raptors knew.
Is that a new
Danny
thing on
Green had to be
2K? I haven't played 2K.
No, it's
so
like
I don't
in a
know.
certain game mode when the players are like playing cards. If you get two that are like buddies in real life,
The
when
players'
they're on the
cards
court
are playing
together-
cards?
Yes.
All right.
Twitter questions.
All right,
What do you not
Twitter
understand?
questions.
questions, baby.
Our first Twitter question comes from @Caleb Bennett OKC, who says Abrinas seemed to indicate in a tweet yesterday that he was in OKC. Presti has talked about how he's still part of the Thunder family. Shortly after he left the team, Russ said something about how he talks to Alex every day. Is there any chance Abrinas comes back next year?
He's not eligible to come back until
March,
after the date that he was waived.
a year basically.
So,
Would you want him back?
No.
Oh, shoot.
So that was no.
I just don't understand why you would want someone to come back who hasn't played professional basketball in a year.
Yeah.
Are they going to come back and be better? I don't see how that's possible. They're going to come back and be worse.
I would bring him back on a minimum deal
Sure.
because you can't find a guy on a minimum deal at that point in the season. I mean, he basically
That has
like,
that connection to the team, has that ability, because
knows
we
how to
forget,
play
like
with
Alex,
everybody. Like he's a pure shooter. And so if you had the ability to bring him back basically as a buyout guy, that's how it would work. Except for you're the team that bought him out, which is just kind of funny.
Yeah, but it's such a unique situation, right?
It's a very unique situation. And so if he wants to come back and he say like, yeah, we're going to hold this spot for you. You're going to make a minimum deal. We're going to sign you to 2 years, the rest of this season and all of next season on a minimum contract. Then heck yeah, I think you bring him back.
Under one condition. You have to be honest and tell us what happened. As fans, we deserve to know.
God,
We
we
are
deserve.
paying we deserve to know exactly what's wrong with you.
Please record a whole podcast of your innermost thoughts, Alex, because that is what we deserve.
This is what I'd need to see. I would need to see some workout videos of him.
Luke would need to see it personally.
I would need to see
Send it to
workout
Luke.
videos of him nailing threes. And I'll come to Down to Duck Nation. I'll say, hey, Dunkers, he's nailing
ready.
threes. He's ready. Let's bring him back.
Scared money don't make none.
But until then, I just don't.
I'd bring him. I mean, you can't find a guy like that on a minimum deal. I don't know that it'll happen, but the Thunder, there's no doubt in my mind the Thunder would want that to happen. There's absolutely no doubt. I mean, if you had the ability to bring a guy like him aboard in March, you have to. Who already knows the team? It's not going to take time for him to get used to everybody. Like, I think you do it. I don't know if it's possible, though.
Andy,
What? What?
you like dream scenarios, right?
Yeah.
Here's a dream. Here's a
doesn't?
dream scenario.
Okay.
For someone who doesn't like to hear about dreams, you love talking about dream scenarios. But anyway,
I don't like real dreams. I like dream scenarios.
here's here's a here's a dream scenario.
Okay.
Alex Abrinas comes back in March on the minimum
Uh-huh.
and then starts just nailing shots. He hits game winner after game winner.
Uh-huh.
We go into the playoffs.
I'm dreaming.
He's basically just we're riding on Paul George and Russell Westbrook, and Alex Abrinas is number one guy at the end of every game.
Be great.
Like all those shots that he missed last year that we got for him, he's just hitting every single one of them. We get all the way to the finals, and he has another breakdown, and then that's why we lose.
This is not a dream scenario. This is a
Wow.
nightmare.
This is a
The
nightmare
nightmare
scenario.
scenario.
I thought you were going to be like, and he's finals MVP like Andre Iguodala was.
Here's the crazy thing.
Well, okay, that is true.
Is most of that dream scenario stuff, like outside of making those two big shots, he missed those 2 game winners, which I think sent him into a really bad place.
Yeah.
Dude, he was closing games.
He was one of the top 7 most important players on the team.
Yep. And I would do it in a second. If he was
I
still
would.
around, he wanted to be a part of the franchise. Here you go.
He's at a playoff game. He wore the shirt.
Oh, man. All right, moving on. Next question. Come on.
Okay.
I don't need to hear your
Okay. Next.
Luke's about to
I was about to
lambast him.
I was about to give my thoughts about that, but I will not. All right, our next Twitter question comes from @MindKnightRoss, who says, "You are Dante descending through the circles of B-Squitball hell. Who and what are in the 9th? That's the worst circle. Yeah, I know that's the worst circle at Midnight Ross. I was an English major."
Oh. I think there are parts of what's going on in the current NBA world that is my 9th circle of hell. And it's
Okay.
basically Chris Broussard,
Yeah.
and Kevin Durant.
Just conversing.
That's kind of it. It was like if I literally descended in the 9th and it was just him, those two going against each other. And it's Kevin and his crew just tweeting and Chris Broussard just spitting nonsense. I don't know what happened. Why has there been a collection of just crazy people in the Fox Sports world? Chris Broussard, you have Skips over there now, and you also have Colin Cowherd. It's like all of the shock.
They have to be loud to be heard
noticed.
above like the ESPN and all that's TNT and everything. Turner.
Well, and that's how they climbed the ladder at ESPN too. All those guys got big at ESPN for being this. And Fox Sports 1 saw that, so they're like, "Well, let's just bring these guys over. That's what people
And
want."
now
to
we're
see
talking
here.
about it, so it's
Right.
obviously
Yeah.
working.
So who's lying the most in that conversation?
Well, I guess it depends on how you define texts.
No, you define
Go on.
text messages by they're messages of any kind that have text in them.
Yeah, that's how Chris Broussard defines it.
Are they Facebook messaging? What does he mean?
I don't know, man.
They
It's
use
so-
the WhatsApp?
He said they're like DMing and it's like a combination of all these things,
Yeah,
which I
Yes.
believe.
yeah. This is definitely one of them. Another one is the fourth quarter of Game 6 of the
Just over
2016.
and over
Just
and over again.
You just see like the Russ turnovers. You see the Klay Thompson threes. Like you get to hear the people that sat right behind me that were Warriors fans chanting the whole time. It's just that would definitely be there. And then also wherever you were, July 4th, 2016, at that moment,
Yeah.
gets to replay over and over and over again. You get to see the tweet. You get to see the my next chapter. Like you get to see it all.
Which has just been for now 4 years this summer. Is that right?
3.
3 years this summer.
3.
3.
But through math, I found that it's 3.
2016. But has still to this day his whole entire players tribute.
People
or
still
tribute,
use it.
Still use it.
It's pretty great.
Anytime he loses, his shirt changes.
Right.
Anytime another team wins, his shirt changes.
And-
It's still happening. People are mocking it still to this day,
I know.
which is like
Like
one of the levels of heaven in my
Mhm.
mind.
That's right. Steven Adams getting kicked in the nuts by Draymond Green is there too.
yeah,
Why am I going back?
And
there?
also the entire background sound is just dunked on being played in the background.
Just Nate Duncan and
Just
well, stats and statistics and analysis.
Why would you spend the money?
I drink glasses of milk at dinner.
Yeah.
Steak and milk, please.
It's actually a Nate Duncan, Danny LaRue with Bill Simmons podcast that's being played in the background.
Somebody,
Of it
one of the,
And it's all about the Harden trade.
And it's just about the Harden trade and about the money that OKC wouldn't spend.
well, this is fun.
All right, guys.
It's not. It's
Yeah.
hell.
Yeah,
Let's-
it's the ninth ring.
Let's move to our next Twitter question. I accidentally changed their order, so we'll do that. Our next Twitter question comes from @Fluky, who wants to know which player will get the most inflated contract due to their playoff performance this year.
What do you think about Rodney Hood?
He's gonna. I mean, people are going to overpay him. I don't think he's that good, but he played well in the playoffs.
He did.
Someone will pay him something. That will be more than he's worth.
There's always that, like, I always go back to James Posey contract where it's like he went to
Yeah.
the Celtics and somebody's like,
New
we
Orleans
gotta
had to
get
have him.
We got to get him for way
Yeah.
too much money. God,
Mhm.
Dell Demps, what in the world?
I mean, really, you could look at all the Blazers that are up for contract. Aminu,
Yep.
you know,
Ennis.
Rodney Hood. Like what is Ennis Can? Like what in the world does Ennis Canner get paid this
Well,
summer?
here's what's crazy is before this, I thought minimum part
Yeah.
of MLE,
Yeah,
I wouldn't pay him much more than $5 million. For the Thunder, I wouldn't pay him at all
yeah.
unless he wanted to come for a minimum to be the backup. I don't know.
I mean, Jimmy
try-
Butler surely gets a max, and he probably would have anyways. But he surely gets a max now.
Yes.
For the
Yes.
Lakers.
Malcolm Brogdon probably gets paid more than you would have thought.
What would be okay? So we're saying Malcolm Brogdon will probably get a max, but what would be,
I don't know that he'll get a max.
reasonable
I'm just-
money for him?
17 million a year.
Yeah.
Is there any comps to him out there?
A comp for him.
Yeah, like contract, like looking. Let me think. Let me process that. I'm trying to think. Who else do you think will be in Brooke Lopez?
Brooke Lopez will get paid a lot
More than he should have,
hmm
unless he wants to take a cut and stay with Milwaukee, which I could see. He's been to LA and had that experience, and he's like, I just want to be where I can win, because he's made a ton of money over his career.
Yeah.
Ton of money over his career. So maybe he's somebody
Tobias
that-
Harris may have lost money this year.
Sure. Yeah, which for him though, he's going to be in a situation. I think. Are we all in the same agreement where Jimmy Butler's gone and Tobias Harris will be the?
No.
You think they're going to try to keep both of them?
Yeah.
Oh.
What else do you do if you're
Yeah,
them?
you're right. You do that. This is
Speaking
like
of
the.
Harris-
I mean,
Harris's-
if you're a fan of that team, what do you want them
You're
to
right.
do?
Keep them both. This is the opposite of the Sam Hinkie model. It's like, all right, now they're
The process is over.
going to have to play Ben Simmons and Joel Embiid gigantic contracts. The Ben Simmons question mark for the Sixers is the one that makes me go,
Here's also the thing:
Yeah.
like that Sixers team has not been expensive in a long time.
You're right.
That ownership group,
and they've been
hasn't paid-
making the same amount. I mean, their fans still rolled out.
So I would not worry about their pocketbooks.
I need to stop worrying about millionaires' pocketbooks.
Yeah,
What does Draymond get?
he's not a
enough.
free agent. He'll be a
Next
free
year.
agent after next year.
Oh. Okay.
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 Thank you.
Hey guys, let's move on to our next Twitter question. It comes from @Josh_Morrison, who wants to know, is there a wing that might take a discount, the full mid-level exception, for a chance at starting for us? Danny Green, Reggie Bullock, the Bone Dong?
Definitely not.
Reggie Bullock.
I wouldn't.
He
I
stays in
wouldn't.
LA.
I
Probably.
wouldn't want to start Reggie Bullock.
I like the
Hell
idea
no.
of Danny Green.
I like the idea of Danny Green. It's definitely a sentence that a lot of people say and should say. I don't know. What do you like? I don't know that Danny Green's going to take that deal. I don't know if Danny Green's going to come to the Thunder. Like if Kawhi stays,
Stay in
they're
Toronto.
just going to pay him in Toronto.
Not a
I'm
ton.
sure.
I don't think he will demand a ton.
He's not going to demand.
Not like
a
you
ton.
paid 10 for him.
But if
7,
you could
6.
get him for 5, you would start him on this team. I think that you would. What about Wes Matthews? The Bone Dong's not taking 5. The Bone Dong is going to get paid.
Paid. I think Wes Matthews is a legitimate Thunder target.
He's a Thunder target.
And
That came from
Scared money don't make none.
he told us that.
so here's my question. So what is a Wes Matthews going to settle for in Oklahoma City?
I mean, you
MLE is all they have.
that's the only tool that they have to acquire him.
And am I wrong to think they can't pay the full? No, because the taxpayer MLE is the one that doesn't hard cap them, right?
Yeah.
Is that the whole
So
point?
they're going to offer that like 5.8 or whatever and say we'll start you. I think you probably do that.
Yeah. And you just don't have to play him 35 minutes. You play Ferguson a lot, and then you minute restrict Paul George, and you put Andre Robertson out there a lot.
Yeah.
Unless you can move. I think they're going to actually explore potential moves with Dre at some point this year. Maybe they wait until the trade deadline.
I think they wait and see what they got.
Yeah. I mean, so I put this list out there earlier about NBA free agents. And there's not a lot of people that would legitimately take a pay cut to come and play for the Thunder that would get you, because Terrence Ross, perfect guy, not going to take a pay cut. He's going to get paid this summer, and he should. And Orlando's going to probably pay him
The Thunder
not a
don't
max,
have,
but a lot.
yeah, they don't have a way to get him.
But you have a Wayne Ellington, which I mean, he can shoot, but he doesn't do much
You're not
else.
starting him over Terrence
You're
Ferguson.
not starting him
Not
over.
doing that.
No.
Shumpert,
No.
no.
Yeah. No.
So Wes Matthews, okay.
He's a maybe.
Wilson Chandler.
Nah.
Then you go down. You said Reggie Bullock, Mario Hazonia,
To start,
No.
that'd be hilarious.
Yeah.
Sign Mario Zone.
Rodney Hood, Seth Curry. Both are unrestricted this summer.
Yeah, but you're not. You're
Nope,
not.
You're not.
You're not doing
Alec
that.
Burks,
No.
Trevor Ariza.
Like all these guys, you would sign. Surely you'd want every guy that you've mentioned. You would want on the Thunder.
Yeah.
But to start,
Wes Matthews, basically.
it would be Wes.
Danny Green, maybe.
You do that for you would do that for Danny Green, for sure.
Shelvin Mack, probably.
Jeff Green. Can we start him with a shooting guard?
Sure.
Yeah. I mean,
I'm sure PJ Carlesimo tried that.
it's a very small list of players that you think
Burn.
that would take that number and you would start in front of Terrence Ferguson.
Oh, very few.
Because like Terrence is very, very important to this team's next 2 years. His development, his confidence is extremely important, which is this is a very, very terrifying statement to make. But it is very important to this team. And Royce had this point on the Dream Team pod about Terrence. Like Terrence is younger than a lot of guys in the draft this year. And like everybody's like, we need a guy, a 3-and-D wing for this team. And like they're developing one right now. And his name is Terrence Ferguson. And he may be younger than the guy that they take at 21. You know? So like his development is huge. If he's this exact same guy he was this season, where he's inconsistent as a shooter and a good defender, like that's great. But if they're going to get to another level, like he's got to go to another level. He's one of the few guys, he and Jeremy Grant are like two of the few guys that you think like could make legitimate progress this summer and become much better players coming into next season. So, and they both made giant leaps from the year before, but they need them to
Nobody
do it
should
again.
be surely not down on Terrence Ferguson.
I mean, the internet
You're right.
does a lot of surprising things.
Hey, so looking back at the Malcolm Brogdon, how much of a comp do you think Marcus Smart is?
He's way better than Marcus Smart.
Sure. So Marcus Smart is like the closest for the past 2 drafts before Malcolm Brogdon. Looking at contracts, Marcus Smart is like the lower end of what he would get, because there's D'Angelo Russell's the year before, but he's also, I mean, his up and restricted this year.
Mm-hmm.
Marcus Smart's making 11 million this year, 12 next year, 12. So you got to think that Malcolm Brogdon, you're probably right. Like 17 is a range that makes sense. 16, 17 million.
Yeah. If you're the Mavericks,
I'm telling you, the Suns should offer him 20 and just make the Bucks.
Orlando,
Yeah, they're big fans of DJ Augustine.
Charlotte.
the big fans of this guy named DJ.
Charlotte can't offer him. They don't have any money.
They're going to be paying Kemba the supermax.
They're in the same
New
situation
York.
as the Thunder.
Can we not talk
financially.
about Charlotte ever again,
Why
please,
are
on
we,
this
what
show?
are we talking about? Can we go to FUD Twitter question? Wesley Matthews is our starting shooting guard next year. I love it. I
Would
was
you really?
looking at all his stats.
Are you joking?
No, I'm serious. I'm
Okay,
really
good.
looking through
All
it.
right. I thought
And
you were
he's
making fun
been-
of me.
No,
I'm
and
making-
even
making fun of me.
even after his injury, he's been pretty consistent from three.
Yeah.
His offensive win shares have dropped, but his defensive win shares has basically remained the same.
Yeah.
So it's just his offense has dipped off some, but with Paul George and Russ, you just need a guy who can hit threes and be confident.
I also love his
And that's
attitude.
definitely Wes.
Yeah.
I like his
Yeah.
attitude. He also wears like the ninja.
That's what I was about to
headband.
say. That's the number one reason why you want him in the
That's what I
starting
want.
lineup, because when they put the faces of everybody that's in your starting lineup and you see him with the ninja headband, you're like, all right, let's do this.
Dude, that's a pretty intimidating looking, at least, starting lineup with Russ
Russell.
Matthews, Paul George, Katie. Good Lord. Jeremy Grant. All right. See you guys.
Wow.
Oh,
Please,
Jay.
please.
All right. Hey, guys, our
Paul
next
George.
KD,
I'm going back to
Jeremy,
bed.
head coach.
Steven
Jeremy and
Adams.
Steven. Yeah.
Yeah.
The guys that are actually.
Dude, that'd be great.
I enjoy it.
That would be great. I would like
They
that.
need a vet like that.
Yep.
If they're going to make this run over these next 2 seasons, they need a vet like that. They do. Period. Because he can play a couple different positions.
And surely Paul and Russ are just shooting text at West Matt. He's DMing him.
Hey man, we lost in the first round. We really need you.
We need you, man. You'd have made a huge difference, please. You did. You lost in the first round too.
Did you see him
Well,
in the
didn't they-
all the defense?
They tried to get West, right?
Oh, yeah.
Oh
They
yeah.
tried to recruit him already.
Yeah, but the Thunder
Oh,
wouldn't
yeah.
offer him a starting position, and they may not offer a starting position. Like we have to be aware of that. That the Thunder may not call him and say, "Hey, we'll start you." I don't know that the Thunder are willing to do that. This is all hypothetical. Every single bit of it's hypothetical, because they may not. They believe in Terrence Ferguson, like they really do.
Hey guys, let's move on to our next Twitter question. It comes from @EricHome. Okay, let's do this one pretty fast. He says, I don't watch on YouTube. Can you guys tell me what famous people you look like so I can stop people who look like you in the street and express how big of a fan I am of the show? Please include @Mikey Berra and @AlBabyCakes in this. I'm going to tell you this.
Mm-hmm.
My next door neighbor at the lake tells me I look like Vince Vaughn, and it is my favorite thing. He is one of my favorite people on the planet for doing so.
Wow.
That's my
Vince
answer.
Vaughn.
I know. In swingers specifically.
All right.
Okay.
All right.
I got to see that.
Taylor, who do you look like,
All right.
man? Anybody tell you look like anything?
I think I look most like Jimmer Fredette at certain angles.
God, that's so true.
You got to shave your beard.
Look up Jimmer Fredette like when he was younger.
Yeah,
I
you're
look
not as thick
exactly
as Jimmer
like him.
is.
What?
He's swole, bro.
He is swole.
You never see me with my shirt off.
Take it off, man.
Okay, Luke, you do look like Vince Vaughn from Swingers, specifically Swingers.
Thanks, man.
I had a guy. I had a guy at Walmart one time. This is very weird, and I had a big, like, kind of not good looking beard, and it was like just disheveled looking.
Mm-hmm.
And I walked in, and the guy goes, "You look like Ryan Reynolds from Amityville Horror." So, all right, I'll take it. I'll take it.
I haven't really had people tell me that I look like somebody,
No,
except for in the 7th grade. There was a guy.
Oh, this is great.
There was a guy that told me that I looked like Nick Lachey from 98 Degrees, and every time
Ooh,
he'd
I
pass,
can see that.
every time he'd pass by me, he'd go 98 degrees, and that happened for years.
Years.
I've
It was
had somebody-
awesome.
tell me that I remind them of a guy named Rob Delaney from a show called Catastrophe. That's that. Somebody said that before.
Have you
Yeah.
watched that show?
Oh yeah, it's funny.
All right.
That's all I got. I look like a guy that if you see somebody with a gigantic neck wound scar, that's more than likely me.
It's like,
Hey, I always
looks like
forget
that
you
guy.
have.
My distinct
tell that story?
distinct marks.
Will you tell the story?
I'll tell it my miffed and peeved, man.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hey,
What about for Alex?
Alex looks like
He not Skeets. He looks like one of the guys. Every time I see one of the starters, I think
Skeets.
of Alex. Is it Skeets?
It's got to be.
he looks like maybe him mixed with I think John Mulaney a little bit.
Oh yeah, attitude like kind of whole demeanor. I think Alex and John Mulaney are very similar.
McKelly?
McKelly did not look like what I thought he would look like.
Yeah.
McKelly looks kind of like he's a good looking man. chiseled out of stone. I don't know. I'm trying to think of somebody that
Kinda
McKelly
is.
looks like. He's got like a real hard like chin line. Like he's
What's the guy from Scrubs?
JD.
Zach Braff.
Yeah, Zach
Except
Braff.
for McKelly didn't have a gigantic nose like
yeah,
that.
take
Braff
off
does.
the gigantic nose, put a normal nose on him. He's a Zach Braff.
Okay, really?
And he's got short hair.
I like that. Hey, that's good. That's good luck.
He
Hey,
does
guys.
look like Zach Braff.
Huh?
He does look like Zach Braff.
Thank you for checking on
Thanks
all
for
of
the
these
confirmation.
and
It's
double
good.
checking these. We appreciate it. Hey, guys, I have one final question for you. But before I ask that, I want to talk to you about Oklahoma Shirt Company.
Bing, bang.
They're great. They've got their Oklahoma Shirt of the Month Club, $10 a month. Get you an Oklahoma themed shirt each and every month. $10. Get you an introductory shirt just for signing up. Jay, what other states are they?
Arkansas, Texas, Missouri, Kansas.
Arkansas.
You can get those
Scared
shirts
money don't
of
make money.
the month club. Also, if you have a special event, they can make you shirts for that special event. They will help you design it. Take it from idea to reality. They are the best. Support those that support us. Are you miffed and are you peeved?
Miffed and peeved.
So I guess I was going to share this. So I'm coming up on the 16th anniversary of my neck wound,
Wow.
16 years.
2003.
Wow.
It can drive a car.
Your neck wound sophomore in high school.
No, yeah, I was
Happy birthday,
neck wound. It's I was in Inola, Oklahoma, hanging out with some buddies of mine. We were playing a camp with Jiminy Crime,
Oh wow.
and
wow.
yeah, memories. Anyway, so I was riding on a 4-wheeler, and I immediately got on it, started riding. I was like, I don't need to be on this thing. I don't know what I'm doing, and which, whatever. So I'm riding over this hill, and I kind of come over this kind of hill, and I look down, and there's this fence, and I get nervous about the thing is like super. I feel like if I just barely try to turn it, then it would like throw me off because it just turns real tight. And so I just kind of like I'm trying to like slowly turn it just to avoid this fence line. Instead, I just run literally into the fence, drag myself across the fence, barbed wire fence, for about 10, 15 yards, and then finally fall off. I like massively sprained my ankle and had 70 stitches in my neck and like 5 in my foot. So my sock and my shoe had like flown like 10 feet away on my right foot. Inola, Oklahoma.
You almost died.
I almost did.
Dude,
I
how did you not die?
Because I missed my carotid artery.
That's scary. It was scary. It was
The Lord has plans
Did
for
you
me.
did you pass out?
No,
You were awake the whole
I
time.
wrapped my neck up in my shirt. Luckily, at this point in my life, I was still wearing like
Who was the first person like found you?
Brian Webb.
It was.
Yeah. So my buddy Brian shows up, and I get up and I'm like, because I don't have health insurance at this time, which is another terror.
No.
So I get up and I'm like, I think I'm fine.
No, you did not.
Yeah, I did. Because adrenaline kicked in. I was like, I'm fine. And Brian, literally his face goes white. And he's like, you're not fine.
Yeah.
And so I like started to feel just kind of like, it felt like a scratch on my neck.
Oh, dude.
And then I went up and we got to the garage area and went to the bathroom, and it was like, okay. So
Did you call an ambulance?
it is a
no,
scratch.
Like, what'd
I
you
jumped
do?
in Wes Wilson's Jeep Cherokee, and
you
we
did.
hauled butt from Inola to Claremore, where I got
You
this
got that red
one.
Jeep Cherokee.
Yeah. So anyway,
Shoot.
it was fun. It was a good experience. I walked around like Frankenstein. Because here's the thing: is right now you can tell if you look at it, but for the most part, like nobody really talks about or notices anymore.
Right.
But for the first like year,
It's all I can see.
it was like a gaping terror wound. Like people were just like, oh. I'd wear like neck scarves.
They got big into scarves and turtlenecks.
Huge fan of turtlenecks.
Really chunky necklaces.
I went
cool,
back,
man.
I got choker necklaces. Still work. So
That's cool, man.
Oh,
I'm miffed and peeved about that. Apparently,
Well,
it's just a good
Yeesh.
story. It's good.
well, we're grateful and blessed that you're still alive.
Hey man,
For real,
I'm very grateful and blessed.
For real. Taylor, you miffed?
No, but I am caught in this like celebrities that look identical, but you never think about it
Okay.
thing right now on the
Yeah.
internet.
Mm-hmm.
So Zach Braff and Dax Shepard have the same face.
There's a third.
And I
There's a
don't-
third person too that they look
Are you
like as
kidding
well.
me?
Yeah,
Michele Berra.
because if you combine Zach Braff and someone else, you get.
Oh my
Dax
God,
Shepard.
it's Chad Kroger. It's Zach Braff and Chad Kroger from Nickelback. They look like Zach Kroger.
Yes.
I just found it right when you said
Wow.
that.
That's awesome.
Wow.
Wow.
It's very cool. Yeah, so I'm kind of grateful and blessed about this. Oh, I think it's really funny. Natalie, have you seen the Moby and Natalie Portman stuff?
Oh, it
It's
makes
so
me so
dumb.
uncomfortable.
So dumb. Like who out there cares who anything about Moby? Second, who
It's
cares
so
if
sad.
they dated in the 90s?
Wait, I don't even
It's
know about
ve-
this.
Moby wrote a book and he says that he dated Natalie Portman when she was 20 and he was 33. But based on their ages, when he was 33, she was 18. She
Mhm.
came out and said, we didn't date. He was just creeping on me as an old. I went to one of his concerts and he crept on me a bit right after I graduated high school. And then he came back and said, we did date. And so it's a fight between them of did they date or did they not?
This is really disappointing because I thought it was going to be that Moby and Natalie Portman look alike.
No.
Sadly,
That's
no.
not one of those trick things. Like
I thought
you
it was
can
going to
see
be
them
like
both
if you
in
put
your
hair
head.
on Moby, he looks exactly like Natalie Portman. I was very excited to look it up, but now I'm not. Now I just don't care about that.
They do not look identical at all. It's
too
very
bad.
sad.
That's really sad.
Or they dated or they didn't.
Andrew, you Mr. Peeves?
No, I'm G&B. Yesterday was my 10-year wedding anniversary.
Hey.
10 years.
Wow.
10 years.
10 years. Man, I remember your wedding because one, I was in it and it was in
Yeah.
at noon.
Uh-huh.
And 11. We got into noon, but 11, and we had like 3-piece brown suits outside, and it was
Uh-huh.
one of the hottest that I have ever been in my life.
We watched it yesterday, and Alex, maybe every 90 seconds, took a handkerchief out of his pocket and wiped his face down. Like, you saw him do it just about every minute.
Because like right now, outside it's like today it's 80 degrees. I
Yeah.
swear the day of your wedding it was 100 degrees.
You
It
have
was
no idea.
so
I think it was
hot.
98 degrees.
It was
Tyler's
98
life
degrees.
and Erica's life got married in the Rose Garden, Cole's Garden.
We were at Cole's Garden. Yeah.
Yeah, same place.
And it was like they had a weather warning the morning of, like, hey, if you can avoid being outside,
Please.
we're all
do.
This was
like, I'm not kidding. I got shade when I was standing up there, but like Chase and Ryan didn't. And at the end, we had gray shirts on. At the end of it, I'm not kidding. You had like a shades of gray as you went to the end. It was like light gray, normal color, just dark sweat covered. It was so hot.
That's awesome.
It was hot. It was a hot
And
day.
it wasn't
was a
supposed to
hot
be. It was
day.
in June, right? Yours is in May. It's like,
Mhm.
why it shouldn't be that,
Shouldn't be that
hot.
hot. Wasn't that hot yesterday? Anyways,
Hey, grateful
10 years.
blessed, man. That's
G&B.
exciting.
10 years.
10
Congrats.
That's
10
they
years.
call that something.
it's
the
great.
It's
10
paper.
years,
Paper.
10 years.
A decade.
10 years is paper.
That's what they call it. A decade.
10 years is paper. No, that's 1 year.
Lukey Murph to Perf.
No, I'm not version perfect. And I'm really good this.
Hey,
I'm nothing.
June
Do
20th.
nothing. Be there.
See
Be
there,
there.
be there, or be
Oh, it's
square.
gonna be so fun.
Bring
It really
bring,
is.
You'll be so disappointed if you don't
Bring your
get out
baby.
there. You really will.
Bring a baby.
Okay.
You don't need to bring it back.
Bring a baby.
To bring a baby.
Bring the baby.
Bring a baby.
But the baby. Bring it, baby.
Hey, Sean, you see my onion post? We're talking about Moby.
Oh. It's really sad because he doesn't need to do that. Like, he's a celebrity in his own right. I don't understand.
Kind of.